Hello, everyone. Good evening. A very warm welcome to all of you. And there are quite a few of us online. So I just have one quick request. If you could quickly type into the chat or the Q&A, whichever window is easier to locate. If you're here for the first time or you have been here before, actually just the first timers might be easier for me to figure that out. So if anybody is here for the first time, just chat. Great, thank you. I already see some responses coming in. And while we wait for that, I'll just quickly go through the beginning slide. So my name is Anjan Upadhyay. By profession, I am in technology, and I'm very happy to be able to host this Thursday evening introduction and a beginner's guided meditation on behalf of Sahaja Meditation. So if you have any devices that will take your attention away from the meditation, let's say for the next 60 minutes, and just turn it off or keep it away. It'll really help. And then if you have any questions, please type into the chat, which some of you are already doing. It's great. And I'll tackle the Q&As as we go along. So we'll make it kind of an interactive session where I'll maybe talk about a little bit, then open it up for a little Q&A, and then we'll get to the meditation, which should be straightforward. And that's kind of the point. It's Sahaj, it's easy, it's spontaneous. Okay, so we have a few people here who are here for the first time, and just follow along. There is no tenure, if you will, in this meditation. It's a living process. So just a quick overview of today's session is we'll talk about energy centers, and mainly we will talk about the first energy center, which is located at the base of our subtle system, and what it is I'll share in the very next slide. And we'll also talk about what is meditation, right? Just so we can level set on what should we expect out of meditation, what is it, rather than it being something ambiguous, something very esoteric. What is meditation? So without further ado, let's jump into it. So as an overview, this is a subtle system within us. Now, what I mean by subtle is that we physically, if we cut open a human being, we are not going to see this. What we are going to see, though, are the major nerve plexuses in our body. So if I just turn on my pointer here, corresponding to each of these energy centers, as you can see, they're labeled from 1 to 7, from the base of the spine till the top of our head, till the limbic area. There are 7 energy centers. In addition, there are 3 energy channels. Now, together, they make up what we are calling here the subtle system. Each of these energy centers has a quality associated with it, which you see listed here. And I kind of think of them as human valencies, right? This is what makes us human. And if you look at these closely, you cannot really get them from a book. It's almost like it's innate. All of these qualities are something that are innate. Now, some of them, like collectivity, we can explain a little bit. It might be a little ambiguous, but we all understand what is love. We understand what is innocence. We understand what is creativity. We understand what is generosity, what is forgiveness. Now, these are qualities that we cannot force onto somebody or learn from a book. We might get some guidance on what to look for in ourselves for those qualities. But by themselves, the essence of those qualities are something that are innate. So this entire subtle system is within us, and at the base of our spine, there is a triangular bone called the sacrum. And inside it, there is a residual dormant energy. It's an energy that resides in 3.5 coils, and its Sanskrit name is Kundalini. Kundalini means an energy in coils. So that's what it means. This energy is what powers this whole subtle system. Now, unfortunately, at a human awareness, we have no idea that this exists. And as such, there is no proof that it exists. So how do we get to this point of where we can actually validate, verify that this energy exists and what its impact is on us if it is awakened. So the word Sahaja itself means something that is easy, something that is spontaneous. Um, it's also made up of two syllables, Saha and Ja. Saha means with, and Ja is born. So something that we are born with. And this subtle system is what it is talking about. So in addition to these 7 energy centers, we also have these 3 channels. One is in blue, running down the left side. One is in yellow, which runs down on the right side. And then there is a central channel. Now together, these give us a few qualities. So the left channel, kind of its quality is emotion, our past, our desires. The right channel, its qualities of action, be it mental, be it physical. When we are very futuristic, we use the energy from the right side. When this energy rises, it is the catalyst that starts, in the essence, awakening these qualities in these energy centers, bringing them into balance. And when it crosses the 6th energy center is when we come into the state of meditation called as thoughtless awareness, where we are completely aware. You will hear my voice, you will hear whatever is happening locally to you. But the mind right now, if I can't see you, so I'll just make a statement. I'll say, stop your thoughts. And if you just pause, you're like, that's impossible. How is that going to happen? Now, just that thought process is happening either in the past or the future. That's all we can think from. That's all thoughts can come from. The present just is. You cannot think in the present. Unfortunately, 99.9% of the time, we are never in the present because our attention is completely engulfed in the thoughts or in the emotions that those thoughts give rise to. And that's how we kind of spend our day. So here, the level setting of what is meditation is the state when we are thoughtlessly aware, which means our awareness, our attention is in the present. And that is the quality of this central channel, which is where our attention needs to consolidate and rise. Now, I'm just going to give a disclaimer here. Everything I'm talking about, you do not need to remember for this to work. This is purely to understand what is it that we are doing. Now, I do say that these energy centers are at a subtle level, but at a physical level, these energy centers correspond to the major nerve plexuses or nerve gatherings in our body. So the 6th energy center, you could say, is where the optic lobe is, or where the optic nerves cross over. The 7th energy center is the limbic system, or the limbic area, the fontanelle bone area. Here, the number 4 is the cardiac plexus, the 3rd is the solar plexus, and so on and so forth. So the 1st energy center is the pelvic plexus. The 2nd one is the cervical plexus, So we talked about the solar plexus, the surrounding area, which is kind of where our intestines are, our kidneys are, our pancreas are. So like this, all these energy centers correspond to a physical nerve plexus in our body. These energy channels, the left one and the right one together, are called as the sympathetic nervous system. We have the left sympathetic and we have the right sympathetic. And the central one represents the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's it in a nutshell of what this subtle system is about. The main goal is it possible to have this state of silence, this state of meditation, and the attention, our awareness, is not really meant to be focused here. It is meant to rise to this 7th energy center. And is it possible for this energy, the Kundalini within us, to take our attention, guide it, and bring it here? And notice how I say, is it possible for this energy to do it? Is because I want to really make sure that when we do the meditation, you are not putting in an effort to do this. Because if you could do it, you would have done it already, right? So think about it this way, that when I eat my food, Do I really read from a book what enzymes to secrete? Do I really read from a book how to break down the food I ate into, protein or fat or sugar? uh, my body just knows, right? I eat, I chew it, it goes into the body, and suddenly I start feeling good because my body already has that knowledge. My stomach already has that knowledge on how to work with that food. So, similarly, this energy knows everything about us. And when it rises with a complete knowledge of me as an individual, you as an individual. Because in each one of us, the state is different. The state of these energy centers is different. So when we meditate, we're going to really uh, try not to try. Yes, the main thing that drives this energy is our honest desire, our honest ask. That as a scientist, if I'm trying this for the first time, um, is it is it true? Is it possible? And if it is possible, I really want to experience it. And that's the ask. That's the ask. It's not a belief. It is not believing a word of what I'm saying. It is really to say, okay, this sounds interesting. And if it is true, I would definitely like to experience it. And that's the requirement. That's kind of the basic requirement. You cannot pay for this. It doesn't understand money. It's a living process that has to happen. There are no degrees. There is no certification at the end. It is something that you'll have to meditate on an ongoing basis to realize the benefits of, to grow deeper into. So that's kind of the premise of this whole thing. Now, I'll move on to the next, the main topic of today, which is the first energy center. Now, this first energy center is located at the base of our spine. It is below the sacrum bone. So remember how I said there's a triangular bone at the base of the spine in which this energy resides. Now, this energy center is below this. And in Sanskrit, again, it's called the Muladhara. Now, Mool means the support, the root, and the Adhara is the support. So it's the support of the roots. So what we are saying is that the first energy center, as you can see by its very placement, is the support of this entire subtle system above. And we'll come to why that is. Each of these energy centers, if you look back here, it's drawn like a wheel or a flower with multiple petals, and each one of them have different number of petals. The first energy center has 4 subplexuses. So if we say this is the pelvic plexus, it has 4 subplexuses, and each one has a different quality. We won't touch that today. The point is that this energy center is at the base, and its health, its balance guides everything above it. And we'll recognize why that is. So the quality of the Muladhara, or the first energy center, is innocence and wisdom. Now, innocence should not be confused with being naive. And the best example of that is children. Children are innocent. And if they are being brought up well, they are also very wise. They very often surprise us with very acute observations and just hitting the nail right on the head of what the topic is, right? They don't have any pretensions about it. They can see it clearly, and sometimes their transparency kind of gives us a lot of joy. And that is what is meant by innocence and the wisdom that goes along with it. It is not to be confused with being naive. Now, thankfully, we might think that, oh my gosh, I might have done things that, how is this ever going to come into balance? The good news is that innocence within us is eternal. It cannot be destroyed. Shri Mataji, the founder of this meditation, she often used to describe it as the sun. Now, there might be clouds in front of it, so we might think it doesn't exist, but it's always there. So when this energy rises, she starts bringing this, not just this energy center, but other energy centers also into balance. And that's how the essence of those energy centers starts manifesting. So remember how I said early on, that these qualities are not something that we can learn from a book and imbibe. These are innate qualities. Innocence is something like that. Now, we might say, okay, but why is that important? Funnily enough, If this energy center is out of balance, we can never be peaceful. What we have found through our own experience is that as this energy center comes into balance, as we start becoming mindful of its qualities, the quality of peace starts manifesting within. So as this energy center comes into balance, we start experiencing true inner peace. It also, because it supports the subtle system, allows us to live in the moment. Because children are like that. They live in the moment. They don't carry gripes. If they're upset about something, they'll quickly move on. And that joy, that simplicity, that innocence is what allows them to live in the moment. And here what we are saying is that that's the basis. That's the basis of this spiritual subtle system that is within us. When we are established, when this energy center is established, it gives the personality a gravity. It gives the personality a joyful gravity where you have a purpose, you have a direction, and it's easy for you to have harmony with nature. So this is why the Muladhara is important, and why we have to kind of understand that innately within us, these qualities are built in. And when we have the awakening of this energy, as we begin to meditate, this quality within us starts to manifest. And it is the source of joy. It is the source of wisdom within us. Now, before I go into the trying and doing the meditation, I will open it up for a few questions. So if anything I said either resonated, you had a comment, or you have some clarification, please go ahead and type it into the Q&A or into the chat. I think most people have found the chat, so if you want to put something in the chat, please go ahead. If not, we'll give it a few moments to see if any questions come in. And if there are no questions, I'll dive right into trying the meditation. Great question. So there's a question that says that, are you saying that the energy uses the physical sympathetic system to travel? So yes, in a way, yes, that's what I'm saying. Because what has to happen within us is that if we say, when I say the word attention, right, and I say the word awareness, that can be interpreted differently. To be clear, what I'm trying to say is that our attention, our awareness within us, that I'm aware that I'm sitting in front of a laptop, I'm aware that there are a few people listening to me, is through my cognitive ability that my senses are giving me. So I can see how many are attending. I can hear myself. I can see the laptop. So in my awareness, I have this knowledge, which is actual nerve impulses and cognition of my brain. If we are saying that this energy within us is real, the first thing that has to happen is that our awareness has to change so that we get the ability to diagnose and experience this energy. So this energy, when it rises within us, is when it goes through, think of it as passing through the the spinal cord, right? So you can see it as a palpitation in many cases, or we can feel it as a coolness rising through the column, through the spinal column. And this is why it is important to recognize this, that when this energy manifests, we start feeling this energy. So remember how I talked about the seventh energy center, is when it crosses the seventh energy center. The sixth energy center is where we become thoughtless, where the state of meditation begins. Now, then the attention moves to the seventh, and when this energy crosses the seventh energy center, we, for the first time, start feeling this energy as a cool breeze coming from the palm of our hands and from the top of our head. There's also a reason why the hand is color-coded. So if you notice, I'll go back a few slides where this was a bigger one. If you notice here, these fingers are color-coded because once we start feeling this energy on our central nervous system, we also start, or we get the ability to diagnose ourselves on our hands. So our hands start telling us which energy center is out of balance. When everything is in balance, it's nice and cool. If something is out of balance, you start feeling it as a heat, as a tingling in that respective finger, and that's how you know that something is wrong. So yes, very much so, this energy travels through our physical nervous system, and then starts bringing it into balance. And that's how we can start experiencing it. So hopefully that answered your question. Great question, by the way. It's a good idea, to get the questions out of the way ahead of time, so the mind doesn't kind of go off while we are meditating. Okay. All right. So I'm assuming there are no more questions. So now what we will do is I will briefly tell you what these figures are at the bottom. Again, a disclaimer, I understand the chart shows somebody sitting cross-legged. The illustrations show somebody cross-legged. That is not a requirement. That is just how can we condense it? How can we show it in a way that kind of can fit? If you're sitting on a chair, perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. It'll still work. So remember how I said that the left side is the side of our emotions, our desire? So the left hand represents that quality, the left side of our body. The right side, which is the quality of the action, is represented by the right side of the body, the right hand. In this guided meditation, we will use these two qualities to work on our own energy centers. So as you can see in the figures below, for majority of the time, our left hand stays open in our lap comfortably. There is no, special kind of a thing that you have to hold on to a finger. You just leave it open comfortably. Fingers apart, just naturally as the hand would open. Now, once the left hand stays open in the lap, it is an expression of our desire. The left side is our desire that we want to have this experience. The right hand is the one that we will use to place on these different energy centers on the left side of our body. So if you notice throughout these figures, the hand is being placed on the left side of the body. So we're going to go on the heart, upper part of the abdomen, lower part of the abdomen, and then go back to the upper abdomen to the heart, then go to the left on the corner of our neck and shoulder on the left hand side, and here we turn the head to the right. After that, we're going to take our right hand and place it flat across the forehead. And here we slightly kind of squeeze it from either side. Then we take our right hand and we place it on the back of the head. So it roughly is kind of here. And then you let the head roll back, sit comfortably in the palm of your hand. On the final energy center, as you can see, the center of the palm comes and sits on the limbic area. So this is the fontanelle bone area. It used to be the soft spot, or is the soft spot in babies. So you take the center of the palm, you place it here. And if you notice, my fingers are kind of pushed back well, so the hand is tight and I can apply a good pressure. And here we are going to massage the scalp. So if you see, I'm massaging the skin. I'm moving it in a clockwise direction. So if you're looking from the top, you're massaging the scalp in a clockwise direction. And 7 times we would be doing this on this energy center. So that's all we have to do. And I'll guide you through it. For majority of the meditation, we'll have our eyes closed so that our attention moves inside. And just a quick thing on the side, you see a photograph next to the logo. This is the photo of the founder, Srimataji Nirmala Devi. And she is the one who actually made it possible, this technique possible, where by going through these motions or asking for it in a certain way, it allows this energy to awaken amas, which is actually quite remarkable, because if you look at what we are doing right now, I'm remote, sitting somewhere in Florida, and you are spread all over. And somehow, this awareness acts. And it's quite remarkable how it acts. So with that being said, we will go ahead and begin the meditation. If there is, I don't see any other feedback, so I guess it's the best to just meditate, and then we'll deal with anything else later. Okay, great. So now what we'll do is, very simply to begin with, again I'll reiterate, this meditation does not need your effort. What it needs is desire. And the rest, you leave it up to this energy to work it out. And just have a little confidence that, I have really very little knowledge of myself. So if this is a possibility, this energy might very well be with the capability that I'm telling you about. So let's have both our feet flat on the Mother Earth, apart from each other. Both our hands comfortably open in our lap. And we'll go ahead and close our eyes. And as we close our eyes, we're going to take a few moments to simply observe ourselves. We are not judging ourselves, we are observing ourselves. There's a huge difference. And the difference is that if I observe that I have a lot of thoughts right now, if I observe that I'm stressed out, I'm very anxious, or my attention is completely on something that I have to do right after this meditation, or something that I did before this meditation, it's quite all right. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I'm not going to worry that, my gosh, how am I going to meditate? I'm a mess. It is not your job. It is not your job to force your thoughts out. It is not your job to control your attention, to try and focus. The only ask is that we desire, as we go through this guided meditation, we let our heart ask for this experience. That's the only ask. So with that, leaving our left hand open in our lap, we're going to take our right hand and place it on the heart. The heart, as we know, is a very important place. We just don't know the full extent of it. So silently within, we are going to ask this energy a very fundamental question. 3 times we ask silently within, energy, am I the pure self? Energy, am I the pure self? Or am I the pure spirit? Either one would work. And now we take our right hand and we'll place it on the upper part of the abdomen on the left hand side. This is where the rib cage kind of meets the stomach. And here we ask another important question 3 times. Energy, am I my own master? Am I my own master? 3 times we ask that question. And now we'll take our right hand and place it on the lower part of the abdomen on the left hand side. This is right along the belt line, but on the left hand side. This energy center, its overall quality is of knowledge, of creativity. The left side of this energy center deals with pure knowledge. And this is the knowledge that manifests as a result of the awakening of this energy on our central nervous system. This is the knowledge that allows us to feel these energy centers, to validate the existence of this energy. But since our freedom is respected, since this cannot be forced on us, we have to ask for it in our freedom. So with humility, which basically means just ask from the heart, we ask a total of 6 times, energy, please grant me the pure knowledge. Energy, please grant me the pure knowledge. Please ask that from your heart a total of 6 times. As we ask for this knowledge, the movement of this energy begins. So now we have to support it. So now we take our right hand and place it back on the upper part of the abdomen on the left hand side. And you can gently press in a little bit with the tips of your fingers. This time around, with confidence in ourselves, we have to say a total of 10 times. So we are asserting something. Here with confidence, what we are asserting is that energy, I am my own master. Energy, I am my own master. 10 times, please say that, recognizing that if I have to know myself, there is no third party. And this energy center is the one that gives us the quality of self-mastery, based on the innocence and the pure knowledge that is below it. It allows for these principles of self-mastery to awaken. But we have to assert that, we have to be confident in ourselves in a way, understanding this principle. So 10 times we say that energy, I am my own master. Now we take our right hand and we'll place it on the heart. This time around, with a very pleasant feeling towards ourselves, Because we really have no idea how beautifully we are made, how joyful this self can be when it is in balance. Here, 12 times we say with confidence that energy, I am the pure self. Or energy, I am the pure spirit. Either one of these would work. The most relieving reality about us is that we are not our emotions, we are not our thoughts, we are not our titles, our jobs, but we are something very subtle, very beautiful, and that is the self that resides within us. And as we meditate, for the first time, our attention will start settling and enjoying this self that is within us. That is nothing but peace and joy. So 12 times we say that energy, I am the pure self. And now we will take our right hand and place it on the corner of the neck and shoulder on the left hand side. And here we turn the head to the right. So here, without analyzing this too much, without trying to mentally break it down and think too much about it, here 16 times we say that energy, I am not guilty of anything. Energy, I am not guilty of anything. "16 times, just say that with confidence. There's nothing that you could have done that this energy cannot bring into balance. Correct. But in our freedom, we have to give up this fallacy of hanging on to things and feeling guilty about them, because that doesn't serve any purpose. Most importantly, it drags our attention to the past and is a good escape mechanism where we can avoid facing our mistakes. So the quality of this energy center is that if we did make a mistake, we face the mistake, we correct it if we can, and move on. This is very important to just understand this and say that energy, I am not guilty of anything. Just let it go. So next we'll take our right hand and place it flat across the forehead. Bend your head forward slightly and just let it rest in the palm of your hand. And from either side, just gently squeeze. Here, we are not going to worry about the number of times, but we have to say this from the heart. Here we say, energy, I forgive everyone from my heart. We just have to allow the openness in our heart, the willingness in our heart that I want to forgive. The rest of the work this energy will do. But since it cannot overstep our freedom, in our freedom, we have to express this desire that energy, I forgive everyone and everything from my heart. Forgiveness is the essence of this energy center. So for our own sakes, because this is where we experience the silence, let us allow our heart to become large and express that desire, that energy, I forgive. I forgive everyone from my heart. Say it just right here, right now. Don't think about anybody or any situation. And now we'll take our right hand and we'll place it on the back of the head. Let the head roll back and again sit in the palm of our hand. Here, the objective is, as a matter of protocol, because I think we logically understand that there are many things we do that are against our own self. And since this energy is the one that is correcting all that imbalance within us, it behooves us, as a matter of protocol, not condemnation, but as a matter of protocol, to ask for forgiveness from this energy. So here we simply say a few times that energy, please forgive me for any mistakes I might have committed, knowingly or unknowingly. Energy, please forgive me for any mistakes I might have committed, knowingly or unknowingly. And now in the final energy center, we take the center of the palm and place it on top of the head. And this seventh energy center is located on the fontanel bone area, the limbic area. So we place the center of the palm there, push the fingers back so you can apply a good pressure. Here, our desire is the most important thing. So in our freedom from the heart, 7 times we massage clockwise, and 7 times we ask very humbly, energy, please grant me my self-realization. Awakening of this Kundalini, this energy, is called as self-realization. And when it rises, we are brought into the present moment, which is the state of meditation. So 7 times from the heart, please ask, there is no rush. Very slowly, deliberately, that energy, please grant me my self-realization. And once you're done, you can bring your right hand back to your lap. Have both the hands comfortably open. Have the eyes closed. And just allow your attention to just stay at the top of the head, where your hand was a few seconds ago. Again, you're not forcing your attention. You're just letting it go there. What we'll do now is, leaving the right hand open, we take our left hand and we place it above our head, not touching it, but a good 4 or 5 inches above. And slowly move the hand back and forth. See if there is a spot where we can feel a very gentle, warm or cool breeze-like feeling coming from under our hand. Let us just see if we can feel. If we don't, it's all right, but let us see if we can. We'll bring the left hand down, have it open in our lap, and do the same thing with the right hand. Not touching the head, but a few inches above. You might also experience that with one hand you feel it cool, and with the other hand you feel it as warm. There is a reason for that, but what is great is that if you're feeling that, you're tangibly able to now feel that knowledge of what is in balance and what is out of balance. So let us just see the experience of it, if we can feel something. On the right side, if we feel a little warm, it just means we haven't forgiven fully. So a couple of times, you can say again that I forgive. All right, we'll bring the right hand back to our lap, and one last time, check with the left hand. So we bring the left hand up. And check again. If you're feeling it and it's warm on the left side, you can say a couple of times that energy, I am the pure spirit. All right, so we'll bring the left hand down, back to our lap. Have both the hands comfortably open. And now, without again trying anything, let us first just see how we feel inside. Is there a sense of peace, silence that has started coming in? And the second part that we can watch, are there any thoughts right now? If we just watch. Chances are pretty good that it is silent inside. If it is, let your attention once again go back to the top of your head. Remember, this is about this energy working it out, so no effort is needed. We don't need to do anything. Let us just allow ourselves to enjoy this state. If for whatever reason what you're experiencing is a few seconds of silence and then the thoughts come back, don't worry. Just watch the thought as it rises, as it comes up. Don't get involved in it. Don't react to it. You will find you can do these things now. If you just allow, if you relax and you just watch the thought. And as you watch it, you just say, not this thought. Just negate it, recognizing that it's just a bubble, either from the past or the future. It has nothing to do with reality, which is the present. And slowly you will find that the thoughts will settle down, and that gap of 2 seconds will become 3, 4, 5, progressively as you continue to meditate. Once again, to help our attention, let's take our right hand and place the center of the palm on the seventh energy center at the top of the head. Just place it there, nothing to do. And let your attention just settle down there. It will naturally go now to that point. You can go ahead and bring your right hand back to your lap. For the next few moments, just allow it to work. Let your attention be inside. Nothing else, absolutely nothing else is more important. One more time as a quick check, just see where is the attention. If it's nicely settled, great. If not, there's a very simple trick taught by Srimataji, is to just ask a question, where is my attention? You will find that the moment you ask that question, the attention will jump back in. And this is something you should really make a game out of throughout the day, is to watch the attention. You'll be amazed at how much peaceful you will become once this attention starts settling inside. So whenever we are ready, we can go ahead and open our eyes. So with that, we'll open it up for a few Q&As or comments. You can type in the chat. The one thing I would say is that don't limit the meditation to this 1 hour. After we are done, hopefully you've experienced how the attention is inside. Just let it be there. Give it more importance than the other life around. Because once this attention is inside, the life around will also reflect that. It'll reflect that peace, it'll reflect that joy. So give it a chance to mature. So with that, I'll open it up. This session is recorded and we'll make it available on the site. And that was a question that was just posted, so yes. I hope you can also put in comments on how you felt. If you felt thoughtlessness. Where on the site is in the navigation, there is a section for join online, I believe it's called. I don't have it off the top of my head. But it's a navigation menu, something to do with attend a session online, and previous recorded sessions are there. Was there anybody who did not feel thoughtless at all, or is not? Great. No, it is not a strange question. So the question is this a strange question, but do the feet ever transmit like the hands do? Mine throb tonight. Yes, very much so. So I'll go back a few slides to the subtle system. So not only do the hands have this correlation, it's not on this chart, but the same idea applies to the feet. So the vibrations or this energy flows through the feet as well. And that's why we say, have your feet on the Mother Earth, because the Mother Earth also, actually back to the first energy center, is the element of this first energy center. So if we can sit on the ground, if our feet are on the ground, now that we have this energy awakened, the Mother Earth will support us in a very different dynamic way. So on a gross level, she provides for everything. In fact, her gravity is what keeps us grounded on the planet. But at a subtle level, she is the one that also brings this energy center into balance. It is the element of this first energy center. So I hope you all practice and hope to see you soon. Once again, this is every week, and next week we'll touch on something else. We'll keep it a surprise. But do meditate at home. It doesn't take long, 5 to 10 minutes. I promise you, if you're consistent, next time we all meditate together, you will feel a huge difference. So some days will be frustrating. You won't become thoughtless, and that's okay. That's all right. When you cannot become thoughtless, just know that you're trying too hard. and go back to the idea of I'm not going to try, I'm going to ask, and it'll work out. So, with that, I'll wish you all a very good evening. There's one other question in a separate panel. So this question was that my left hand was much warmer when I placed it on over my head than the right one. So the answer is that if everything is in balance, it'll be nice and cool. If something is out of balance, you'll feel it as a heat. Now, this should not be an excuse to go into a psychological evaluation of yourself that, oh, my left side is out of balance, which means XYZ. No, what you should take from it is that, wow, I now have the knowledge, like was mentioned earlier, on my central nervous system, where tangibly I'm able to differentiate that there is an imbalance on my left side and my right side is relatively okay. As you meditate, and this is why meditation is important, when you touch that moment of silence, this energy automatically starts working on these energy centers and energy channels. So the left hand warm means that there is something out of balance. And because you're feeling it, it also means that this energy, your Kundalini, has started working on it. So be very happy about that fact that, wow, this is a whole new awareness I have. And allow it to work out. Your job, all of our jobs, is to just be in the present. That's the only ask. So I hope that answered your question, and thank you for all the feedback. This was really, really awesome. Have a great evening, everybody, and enjoy. Bye.